Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is I, TJ, co-host of the Now Mind You podcast, and I'm back with a new review of the latest chapter of Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui. Today, we are going to be reviewing chapter 268, so be warned, there are spoilers ahead, so if you're not caught up, do what you need to do. This chapter is titled, To Another Such. Where did we leave off? Takemichi has finally connected with a cross after seemingly mastering his foresight ability. Let's get into the summary. The tide of the battle has turned, and now Takemichi is able to use a little more talk no jutsu to get to the bottom of just what the hell happened to turn this past into what appears to be the darkest timeline. This is when Mikey drops a truth bomb. Let me get into the review. He finally beat Mikey to a pulp. Hakai, relax. It was just a singular punch. I don't think that's going to turn the whole situation around that easily. That being said, seeing everyone's shocked expressions was worth it, to the point where Chifuyu was moved to tears, commenting on how manly Takemichi's back looks. Now you finally get to the crux of this whole arc. While Mikey is seemingly turning up the speed of his attacks, in spite of all the warnings Mikey gave Takemichi in the aftermath of Toman disbanding, why did Takemichi come back? Now let's look at this quote real quick. But if you come back, everything I've done will have been for nothing. That doesn't exactly compute though, Mikey. If I recall correctly, everyone still covertly was still doing some gang activity to keep an eye on Mikey, right? Draken had the bike shop, but was also a member of Brahman. So did he actually protect everyone? I mean, Draken died, right? Then again, he also proceeded to immediately avenge Draken's after his death. I don't know. It just didn't really compute to me. Takemichi does let him know what time it is, though, right? At the end of the day, the darkness inside you is so deep that you can only ask for help at the moment of death. I knew you were suffering from it. That's why I came back. I came back to save you. I can't help but wonder about how the overall goal of Takemichi in this series went from I want to save the love of my life from dying prematurely to I just want all the people I love to have a shot at happiness in life, right? That's some maturity right there. And you know, I think that's really what saves him as a protagonist, because if you look at his fighting ability, it gets better toward the end, but man, you're really hanging on at the beginning. I think Mikey's answer about what makes him suffer so much was kind of weak, though, in response to Takemichi's question. I can't do anything about it. Yes, you can, bro. Go to therapy. I'm sure they have therapists in jail. Remember, Mikey killed at least one person in this darkest timeline. Shit, not that much time elapsed between South's murder, the battle of the three deities, and now, huh? That being said, we just got the biggest plot twist. So it looks like between the disbanding of Toman to Takemichi meeting Mikey at the abandoned bowling alley leading up to our most recent leap, something seems to have happened to alter the timeline to this degree. What was it? It looks like Wakasa had an inkling, which caused Mikey to figure it out. Shinichiro is the second time leaper. Boom! There it is. That panel of Shinichiro's profile gave me Professor Zoom vibes. What does this mean? Mikey's been exhibiting these dark impulses since he was a kid. Think about what he did to Sanzu. That was not too long after the death of his mother, right before meeting Draken. Was Shinichiro messing with the timeline then? Are those dark impulses a result of his brothers messing with the timeline? That panel 2 chapters ago talking about if the formation of Toman will reach his brother takes on a different meaning, right? Like, was Shinichiro watching over them the whole time, so to speak? Also, going full circle, did Shinichiro push Takemichi in front of those train tracks? I was under the impression that it was Akun under orders from, Mikey and them, or really Kisaki in that present timeline at the start of the series. Holy shit, was the perceived death of Shinichiro at the hands of Kazutora the catalyst for Shinichiro's time leap abilities? Let me just go ahead and segue into the predictions and questions. How does this wrap up? I'm going to say it again. I still see at least two, right? Mikey accepts Takemichi's salvation, but then somehow dies, probably because Sanzu lunges at Takemichi and Mikey makes that sacrifice. Here's another possibility. Shinichiro intervenes, right? Or Mikey accepts Takemichi's salvation and finally serves time. The Sano family is still low-key like the Skywalker family. Like, that tragedy is still there. Now that we know the identity of the second time leaper, is Shinichiro alive? Was he that dude in the shadows in the suit, right? Everyone was under the impression that it was Hama, but maybe not. Are we now going to explore the resemblances between him and Takemichi and Mikey's dad? Also, did Shinichiro go evil? I still feel like Mikey's got those death flags, right? And we still have 2 Agents of Chaos on the board in the field in Sanzu and Hanma. All in all, this was a bombshell chapter, and I can't wait to read everyone else's thoughts. Shout out to Creepy Kitten, Guts Guy, Riolu, and now Moonfox holding it down in the comments. Big shout out to the Tokyo Revengers subreddit. Thank you everyone for giving us a watch and a listen. If you like what you're hearing, hit up that main podcast and give it a follow. Now Mind You Pod, NOWMINDYOUPOD on the gram. Any podcast distribution platform you can think of. And if you like what I'm doing, follow me, Tuss4Skate, TUSS _4_SKATE. Peace, y'all.